Record. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we are going to download spreadsheet. I don't know what that's doing. Go away. And you should have a lovely spreadsheet that looks something like this. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a crosstab as um, a pivot table today. So click anywhere in all the data. We're going to go to Insert, Tables, Pivot Table. And we want this to be on a new worksheet. For the first one that we're looking at gender versus product department. So I'm going to make this a little bigger so we can see just a little better. There we go. And we just want to check the boxes so we can check gender. We're going to check product department. And we're going to move product department from rows to columns. We're also going to put product department in values. And we want a count. Oh, it already defaulted to count. So we have our gender, and then how many of each of those gender by all of our different products. We're going to convert our counts to row percentages because our charts over here are in percentages. So we want to have the same thing going. So easiest way to do that, we're going to click on any of the numbers in the pivot table. We're going to right click and we're going to do show values as percent of row total. And when we go down here to the very end, it should add up to 100%, and it does. So we have our percentages. Now we can make a column chart. We're going to go to, there's two ways to do it. You can go to insert and pick a chart. We could go to pivot chart, and it gives us one, not exactly the chart we're looking for because we want one that matches what we have over here. And there should be a way, there should be a thing up there where we can change our chart design, maybe change chart type. We want a stacked column chart. I'm going to make mine way bigger. And once we have our stacked column chart, we have to figure out which of these charts matches our stacked column chart. So let's look. Let's look at some of the bigger options on there first. So on the first one we have over here, produce is really tiny. It's not really tiny on ours. So number one, kind of out. Number two, oh, number two is a little closer. But the baked goods, the green one at the bottom, looks way too big. Oh, I hate what does that. Number three, it's got a really big seafood one, and our seafood one is super duper tiny. So definitely not number three. So it looks like the one that matches best is number 4. Graph 4. We're going to do the same thing now, except we want to do this with marital status and product department. We can either change our pivot table or we can make a new pivot table. I'm going to make a new one so we can go through the whole process again. So back on our data, click anywhere in the data, insert, pivot table, new worksheet. We have okay. We want marital status and product. Is it product department? Yes. And product department. And it's going to start it out like with everything in both the rows. We want to move product department to columns. Pull it down into values as well. And then we're going to click on any of our values, right click, show values as percent of row total. And we have our percentages to make our pivot chart, which again, we're going to change to a stacked chart. We want to see it all stacked together. And I'm going to make mine, again, way bigger. Okay. I'm going to drag this over to the side here. If we're looking at, I'm just going to use the single column, which is the first one on each of these. The only one that really matches it well enough looks to me like number 2. Everything else has something wrong with it. We're going to go number 2. The other thing is, if you can't really tell which one matches, if you scroll over the charts, it gives you the actual percentages, and you can match those with the percentages you have in your pivot table. It takes a little bit longer to do it that way. Last one, we want to do annual income versus product development. And this time, I'm just going to change the pivot table. So we're going to remove marital status. And we're going to find annual income. And this time, there's something we need to do because this is way out of order with what we have over here. So to fix that, we can move these row labels and it'll move the whole row around for us. We want 150,000 to probably be at the very end. Then we would want 130 to 150, 110 to 130. Oh, if it'll let me grab it. 90 to 110, 70 to 90, 50 to 70. All the rest of it looks okay. And we're just going to do the same thing we did before. We already have the percentages. We're going to click on Pivot Table Analyze, Pivot Chart. I'm going to go to Design, change chart type to a stacked column. And then I'm going to make this so much bigger. And we're going to, again, start looking through and see what kind of matches. See, the first one, that very bottom thing is way too small. This one, it doesn't, it looks a little closer. Three looks pretty close. So this is one of those instances where I would probably go, I need a little more information. So I'm going to scroll over one of these and see if we can kind of pick out the right thing here. Looks like 3 might be the best option. Let's check it out. They're probably all wrong. That's right. Nope. 4, 2. Hey, that worked. And 3. I feel like matching those charts is not super easy. Okay, that's our number 1. We're going to go on to number 2. I'm going to close that. Number 2, the file PE0308 includes data on 204 employees at the fictional company Beta Technologies. Find the mean, median, and standard deviation of annual salary broken down by each of the following categories. Render answers to the nearest whole dollar if necessary. All right. So we're going to do this in 3 sections. The first section we're doing this in, we've already got our data broken down into male and female. That's what the 1 and 0 column stands for. In this particular instance, 1 is female, 0 is male. Take off the thing that says this is fictitious data. We also are going to have to recode a couple of things. It wants education in things that are less than 4 years for greater than 4, and it wants age as young, middle-aged, and older. So we're going to have to change some things on there, and we're going to do that first. I'm going to bring up my thing that has an answer key for how to do that. Okay. So for age, or for gender, we're good. Oh, except I took the word gender out. Let's put that back in. In column H, we're going to write a formula that recodes education into less than 4 years, 4 years, or greater than 4 years. We're going to use an if-then formula. We're going to title this recoded education. I'm going to do equals if, parenthesis, see, F2 is less than 4. We want it to say less than 4. We're going to put another if in here. If F2 is equal to 4, we want it to say 4. If it's not, we want it to say greater than 4. And I'm going to put the formula text for that right here. Everywhere we have a comma or quotation marks is super important. Commas are separating out the equation for Excel. The quotation marks mean that we want it to say exactly that. We don't want it to give back a number. When you get your formula in, you can highlight both things and double click. So now anything in here that is greater than 4 has a greater than 4. If it equals 4, it's 4. If it has a less than 4, it says less than 4. So we've recoded our education. We're gonna give this one a title 2, otherwise it won't let us use a pivot table. So formula text, recoded education. I'm gonna make that really small on mine for just a second. And we're gonna go to the recoded age. We're gonna do the same thing for age. Let me make that big again. There. Equals. See what? Where's our age at? C2. Oh, no, we have to do the if part. Sorry, my bad. Equals if C2 is less than, and over here it says people who are aged less than 34 listed as young. So less than 34, we wanted to say they're young. If C2, the easiest way to do this one is to do the over 50, right? Less than 34, young. Over 50, older. So C2 is greater than 50. We want it to say older. Otherwise, it can say middle aged. Also in quotations. So this one says it's middle aged. So let's make sure. They're 39. That's middle aged. We'll do the formula text out to the side. Say this is formula text for the recoded age. And when you're ready, highlight them both, copy them down. So now we have everything we need to complete our 3 tables here with a pivot table. So clicking anywhere on our data, insert, tables, pivot table. We're going to put it in a new worksheet. And we're going to start with our gender. We're going to make gender the rows and put it in values. Let's move that to rows. And we want annual salary to be our value. Right now it has a sum of the annual salary. We want the mean of the annual salary. So we're going to click on sum of annual salary and we're going to change it to average. We're just going to kind of leave it like it is for a second. We also want the median and the standard deviation. My version of Excel will not do the median in a pivot table. Your version of Excel might. So we're going to put another annual salary under values. If when you click on this, if you have median as one of the options, click it. If you don't, we'll come back to that in just a second. Click standard deviation instead. So we can get the standard deviation. If median was one of your options, great. Put another annual salary in there and change it to standard deviation. If median was not one of your options, we're going to write a formula that shows how to find the median. And we're going to put the formula text out to the side. Okay. We're going to use a filter formula with the median formula. So, let's see, 0 is males. We're going to do equals median, parenthesis, filter, parenthesis. We want to go to our data and we want to click on the annual salary. Then we're going to put a comma. We're going to click on gender. And we're going to say equals. In our case, 0. So what this is doing is telling Excel to give us the average or the median annual salary for anyone in column B whose value is 0. We can copy that formula down and go in and change the 0 to a 1. And it will give us the median for anyone who is a female in that row. I have an answer. Yeah, so let me take our pivot table fields. You're going to take annual salary and drag it down to values. Oh, undo, whatever I did, undo. And then we're going to click on the little I on the side and just change it to standard deviation. Okay, we want to change our answers to the nearest whole dollar. So I'm gonna make them dollars. I'm gonna take out the decimals. And those are our answers for the mean, the median, and the standard deviation for gender.
My median thing did not.
Okay.
The value, but it's just not. Right? Let me double check.
Okay.
On the female thing first, just a little bit.
Oh my gosh. I cannot stop coughing today.
I have the formula in there exactly as
Let's see. Well, that's weird.
because I think the values are different than yours anyways, but
They shouldn't be. On the practice ones, they should be the same.
oh.
Yeah, you're getting different ones all around. Have you tried putting your two values in?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them's right then.
Okay, so it did the female one, right?
Which means the formula has to be right.
No, this should be 0. This should be 1. Median filter, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's see if we do. Nope, that didn't work. Take that out. Bad idea. Hmm. What do I have? 7,300? Wouldn't be that either. I don't know. I don't like to say that, but I don't know.
That makes me feel better.
Don't know. Hmm. Um, the other thing you could do is filter out the females, copy and paste the data you have left into a new sheet, and then just do a normal median formula for the annual salary.
Yep.
Yeah. Because that's weird. Okay. Let me see if mine worked. Oh no. What happened? I need to make this like way smaller. That's what's happening. Okay. See, mean for males, I have 79,933. Females, I have 66,298. Median, I have 7,300, 59,800. Standard deviation, I have 60, nope, 43,207 and 36,912. See if mine's good. Okay, so mine worked. So based on what we're seeing, females are getting paid less than, more than, or as much as males. Well, are all of our numbers less than, more than, or the same as for both of them? Less than. We'll check that again. We're going to do the same thing, but with education. So I'm going to click anywhere in my data here. I'm going to take gender out, and I'm going to put recoded education in. But we're going to have to change a couple things, especially our median filtered formula over here. Because it's no longer looking at column BB for a 0. We needed to look at column H for 4 greater than 4 or less than 4. Wait, was that H? Is that the right one? Yes. What I changed? Yeah. Okay. Back it up. Back it up. Okay. This is where we were. We're going to take gender off. Cancel. Gender off. Remove field. And we're going to go to recoded education. I'm going to add that in. So it's giving us the average annual salary for those 3 groups and the standard deviation for those 3 groups. And if yours does the median for those 3 groups. If yours doesn't do the median correctly, we're gonna figure out the median. Our filter is looking in column BB. I want it to look in H, H, And we're not looking for 0. We're looking specifically for 4. This time we have to put it in quotations because when we originally wrote the recoded education formula, we had it in quotations. So it means it's in there as text. So all we're changing from the two formulas, we're changing the B's to H's, and we're changing the number at the end to a 4 in quotations. When you have that changed, we need to copy that formula down now and make the 4, oh, go away. I don't want you there. Make the 4 say greater than 4 for the middle one and less than 4 for the bottom one. So I'm going to change my 4 to say greater than 4. I'm going to change my last 4 to say less than 4. And it'll figure out the median for us for those as well. So we're changing the B's to H's, and we're changing the numbers at the end to a 4 in quotations, greater than 4 in quotations, less than 4 in quotations. And again, we should have average, standard deviation, and our median to throw into our spreadsheet. See, my less than 4 one is at the bottom. 4 is at the top. And then greater than 4 in the middle. Median. If you're comfortable with where we are right now, go ahead and do the same thing for recoded age, changing the recoded education in the pivot table to recoded age. If you're not, that's okay. We'll get there. We'll wait. What we got?
These numbers, like for this,
Mhm.
I just went this, but those are like I have really big numbers.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh, we have the sum. We need to change that. So we have the sum. We want to change it to average. There you go.
My meeting still thinks me, but no, it's not working. I just copy paste so we can let that just chill.
The median, I don't know why pivot tables just won't. Yeah. I don't know why pivot tables just won't let us do the median. That it used to do that and they took it out.
Like the one that updates too. Like,
Mm.
Still, I just got this one right.
Okay.
Oh wait, I put the wrong.
23.
You put in the opposite.
Yeah, I put them in the opposite ones. Yay. Okay, perfect.
I'm not sure my numbers worked for the first one. It was like the median thing, but I don't know if I was first one.
Okay, so your median one is good. This one though is showing the sum. We want to change it from sum. So down here where that like little I is, I click that. MacBook, come on. Hey, little buddy. Oh, no. Okay. And we're gonna change it to average. Because it's right now it's just adding it all together, which is not what we want at all. If it just adds them all together, you're gonna get crazy numbers. So try those
Okay.
for the first one. All right, if we're kind of looking at the table, salary, what does salary do as education increases? What's our average salary doing as education goes up? It's increasing, yeah. It increases. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk through the last one, our recoded age. And we have our pivot table. I'm gonna take out recoded education. Just gonna right click and say remove field. And I'm gonna go down in my list and click recoded age. And I have middle-aged, older, and younger. I still have my average and my standard deviation of the annual salaries. And so the only thing to fix is the median formula. So we need the letter for the recoded age column, which on mine is J. Yours might not be J if you didn't put the formula text in. So it's probably either I or J. So in the median formula, I'm going to take out HH. And I'm going to put JJ. And instead of equals 4, I'm going to put equals middle aged. So we're changing the H's to I's or J's, depending on how you set yours up. And then our stuff that's in quotations or text that's in quotations gets changed to the same thing as the row label. And the second one, I'm going to go JJ. And put older. For my last one, JJ. And change it to young. And these should be the amounts you need for the last one. If I slide mine over, kind of. See, for young, I have 62,908, 7974, excuse me, 94,785. My median, 53,200. 81, no, that's wrong. 65,800. 81, 300. And standard deviation, 8, 227. 49,501. No, I'm doing the wrong one. Middle-aged, 35,205. And 49,501. Oh, and I have something wrong up here. Oh, because I did them all backwards. I mean, no, I didn't. 70,974. That's weird. Huh. How are my first one right? That's weird. Okay, well, I have to do this a little bit different then. See if it gives us a different answer. I'm going to go to my data and I'm going to custom sort everything by recoded age. And then I'm just going to kind of play around with it in a different spreadsheet. What'd you figure out?
Recode it for age on the table. It
Yes.
has to be greater than or equal to instead of greater than this.
Ah,
I'm very proud of myself.
I'm very proud of you too. That's awesome. Okay, so greater than, we're going to add in the recoded age formula. That's going to save us a lot of time. An equal to. And then copy that out. Oh yeah, that changed some of them, didn't it? So in the formula again, all we're doing, instead of just if C2 is greater than 50, we're going to put an equal sign between the greater than and the 50 and copy the formula down. So now if we go to data, we have different numbers. Okay. That's also weird. If it was working and now it's not. No, I saw the same thing. That shouldn't be the same numbers. Okay. You know what, Excel? We're just going to make a new table. Insert, pivot table. Recoded age. Annual salary. put an annual salary in there twice. I'm gonna change mine to match. Okay, stop computer. Do average. Standard deviation. If we copy this, it should still work. Okay. Now let's try our numbers. Middle-aged, mean. Nope, I still have 70,974. Median, I have something different, which doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's still off somehow. Okay. It should be working based on what we've changed. I don't know why it's not on mine. What? Yeah, I don't know what's going on because we're doing exactly what we should be doing. So the other way to do this is we can take our data and so I have to do the long way anyway. We can sort it by recoded age. And I'm gonna copy it just into a new sheet so that we don't mess anything up. I'm gonna tell Excel to make this a table that has filters. And the first thing I'm gonna do is filter out everything that's not. So we have the young one. Filter out everything that's not middle-aged. So we have just our middle-aged up here. The reason this takes longer is you have to copy it again into another sheet so that it just copies the middle-aged ones over. And then at the bottom, I'm going to do a median formula and see if we get something different. Because we should. 65,900. Okay, so that's right. So let's do average. And 71,868, which is different. And then we'll do standard deviation. We don't want the 1 in there. And we get 35. I get 35,252. Let's see if that helps us out. It does. So for whatever reason, our pivot table stopped putting the correct information in. So again, yeah, we're gonna do the whole thing again. So we copied our data into another sheet. Hold on, I'm taking out extra sheets real quick because there's too many. Okay. I copied all my data into another sheet. That's what I have up here. And then I turned it into a filterable table. So remember, we just click anywhere, we go to data, we click filter. On recoded age, I'm gonna unclick middle age, I'm gonna unclick young. So all I have in here is older. If we did the formulas just like they are right now, it would still take every single thing into account. It counts the hidden rows. I unselected middle-aged and older, or middle-aged and young, sorry, on recoded age. So after it takes out the middle-aged and the young, we're going to copy it. Because when we copy and paste it into a different sheet, it's only going to copy and paste the filterable things or the filtered things. And then we can do our 3 formulas. If we try to do it on the one that has the filter, it takes all the hidden rows into account too, and we don't want that. So we need the average. We need the median. And we need the standard deviation. I'm going to make mine into money. So those should be the 3, or how to get the 3 numbers we need for this last one. So average 89, 442. 78750 is right. And then 49, 311. And then salary goes up. We already know salary increases. Oh no, continue taking assignment. Click the wrong button. And there we go. And again, I'm recording class today, so this was on the recording too. There's always a way to get to the answer if something in Excel is not working. It just sometimes takes way longer than we want it to. I want to look at something really fast. So the actual homework assignment looks like it's pretty much the same kind of thing we're doing right now, which is good. Ooh, close. Okay. We're gonna go to number 3. And again, number 2 is in the video. Don't say. I don't need you to save right now. Number 3, we have some financial data on movies released from 1980 to 2011 with budgets of at least $20 million. Reduce the size of this data set by deleting all movies with a budget of more than $100 million. Also delete all movies where US gross and or worldwide gross are listed as unknown. So I'm going to open up our spreadsheet. Easiest way to do that is kind of what we just did on the last one. We are going to click anywhere in our table. We're going to click data and filter and make it a filterable table. We want to delete anything, delete all movies. Mine is with a budget of more than 100 million. So on budget, I'm going to click the filter. And we're going to choose greater than 100 million. I remember how many zeros it is. 100,000 million. Okay, thank you. Except I didn't do it.
Those out.
Yeah,
So wouldn't it be less than?
less than. Now we have nothing.
To get rid of that filter.
Clear all the filters. With a budget of more than 100 million. I don't have any that have a budget of less than 100 million. Oh, there they are. They're way down here at the bottom. Okay. Let's try that again. Choose one. Less than. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, took them all out again. Maybe I'm putting. Do that. Huh. Okay, easier way to do this. We know we want rid of everything that's over 100 million. I'm just going to take them all out. I'm going to manually clean my data. Okay. I don't know why that's not working. That's weird. The other thing we want to do is take out anything that has an unknown US and worldwide gross. So in both of those, if we scroll down to the very bottom, we can uncheck unknown on US. We can uncheck unknown on worldwide. And then again, because if we do any kind of correlations or anything right now, it's going to count everything that's hidden. We're going to copy and we're going to put it in a new table. We're going to make a correlation table. We did this once when kind of in practice. I'm going to select my budget column, my US gross column, my worldwide gross column. I'm going to go to formulas. And in the name manager section, we want to click create from selection, create names in top row. And again, it's going to look like it did nothing. If we click on name manager though, we have budget, US gross, worldwide gross. So you're going to highlight, sorry, not just highlight. We're going to highlight the 3 columns. And you're going to click create from selection. And then you're going to click top row. Okay. I'm not going to do mine again because it'll make extra ones. Over here on the side, we're going to type budget US underscore gross worldwide underscore gross. The reason we're using the underscores is when we use name manager, that's what it gives them is underscores for spaces. We're going to put the same things down the side, budget US underscore gross worldwide underscore gross. I think I was supposed to have left the 100 million one in there. Well, mine's gonna be wrong. I love Excel today. I literally went through all these last night to make sure that everything worked, and it worked. And now today it's not, and that's frustrating. Excel is frustrating. Okay. That's okay. We're gonna continue like this for right now. Correlation tables. What we want to do is equals CORREL. Why didn't that pop up? That's not good. Oh. Hey, buddy, what's going on? No, mine's not popping any of the stuff up. Guys, I think I borked my Excel. Oh no. That's bad. There we go. Okay, correlation. We're going to click budget. Comma. Budget. Okay, that didn't work and it should have with the names. It's the whole reason we did the name manager thing. If it doesn't work, click the whole column of budget, comma, click the whole column of budget again. Yep, that one worked. Excel is not being kind today, and I don't like it. That's not very nice. So coral, parenthesis, C to C, comma, C to C. We're going to do the same thing for US gross. So we're going to do coral of budget and US gross. Should get a crazy number. Same thing for the other one. Budget, worldwide gross. Anywhere where 2 of them are the same is always going to be 1. So we can put 1s there. So the only other one we would really need to figure out is this one. Do coral, US gross, and worldwide gross. With correlations, the closer to 1, the higher correlated they are. So the worldwide gross and the US gross are highly correlated. So we have a 0.92 there. If I put my numbers in the chart on the thing, it's going to be wrong because we're missing the $100 million ones. for the charts, to make a scatter plot chart, whatever you want to be on the x-axis, you want to click on first. So if we want to do worldwide gross on the y-axis versus US gross, we're going to click US gross first, hold Command or Control, click worldwide gross, insert, and we want to scatter with dots. And it should give us a scatter plot. What we should see is a strong upward wedge shape, which we do. So there's a lot of correlation there. Closest, because again, I'm missing some stuff. Closest is probably 2 on mine. We're going to do the same thing with US gross budget or US gross and budget. And again, it says we want the gross on the y-axis. So we're going to click on the one we want on the x-axis first, y-axis second, insert, scatter plot with a bunch of dots. And this time we get something that looks really crazy. And that's because there's almost no correlation here with the budget and the US gross. We can see over here that it's 0.314 or 0.315. That's a pretty low correlation. Closest one to it, I don't know, I feel like they all look the same at this point. I'm going to say 4. What this would mean is that we don't have a strong relationship between the US gross and the budget. And that's pretty consistent with what we saw in the chart. So the only thing that we're not doing here on number 3 is filling out the table, and that's because mine doesn't have the $100 million in it, because I took those out. So you could go back and just leave anything that's a $100 million budget in and do the table again. Kind of, just so you guys know, what I do with the practice problems is after so long, because you're here today, I give you credit because you sat through this and went through them with me. So if you don't get them all exactly right, that's okay. You're still going to get credit for at least trying them. Right? Because sometimes Excel doesn't work. Sometimes we get different things. It happens. That's why we spend so much time going through them. On Thursday, we will go through Chapter 5's assignment and try to get to that Excel problem if we can. What we don't get through, I will make you guys a video for. I'm going to change the due dates in Cengage later today. Nothing is due tonight, so don't worry about that. Nothing will be due until next Monday. Okay, quiz included. I'll be due next Monday. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see most of you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.